Hi, I'm Muhammed. I'm Hamdan and this is Nightline, and here are the top stories. Promote unity and foster togetherness, says the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. And Aidilfitri Bazaar Brawl, 3 DBKL officers put on temporary leave. Good morning. Muslims in Malaysia will celebrate Hari Raya Aidilfitri on Monday. The keeper of the ruler's seal, Tan Sri Syed Daniel Syed Ahmad, said this in an announcement. Syed Daniel said, in keeping with the command of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, following the consent of the rulers, the date for Hari Raya for the states in Malaysia has been set for Monday, March 31st. The announcement was made and broadcast over local television networks late Sunday. And in conjunction with the Aidilfitri celebration, the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Ibrahim has called on every Malaysian to promote unity and foster togetherness with one another. His Majesty also called on Malaysians not to compromise with any attempts to sow division, as unity is the foundation of national well-being and prosperity. In his Aidilfitri message late Sunday, the King said in fostering a sincere togetherness and unity in an ethical and productive manner, solid efforts must also be implemented to eradicate any elements that can pose a threat of division. Sultan Ibrahim said Malaysians should understand that preserving unity is a continuous task, where unity should be educated, inculcated and fostered in society. His Majesty also stressed that Malaysia's unity should not only be on the surface, but it must be more in-depth, especially when there is a need to address situations where some feelings may be hurt due to ignorance, whether on purpose or not. The King hopes that this message is received and addressed by the government and also the people, because unity is the foundation to our prosperity and well-being. His Majesty also said that unity must be preserved, fostered and passed down to future generations. Sultan Ibrahim stressed each Malaysian, regardless of religion or skin colour, has a responsibility to one another to preserve unity based on the 5 Rukun Negara tenets that are etched in the hearts of every citizen. The King said to those who are diligently working on this blessed day, your services and sacrifices are appreciated. His Majesty and Her Majesty Raja Zarif Sofia, Queen of Malaysia, wished all Malaysians a happy Hari Raya Aidilfitri. The Prime Minister, meanwhile, stressed the importance of upholding human dignity and fostering unity among Malaysians. In his Aidilfitri address, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim emphasised the need to establish stronger relationships between people of all races and religions, noting that mutual respect, kindness and love are essential for maintaining the nation's peace and stability. Anwar emphasised that without these values, the harmony and security everyone aspires to cannot be guaranteed. He also urged Malaysians to remain mindful of the hardships faced by neighbouring countries, as well as the ongoing suffering of the people in Palestine.
Dan di samping itu, terus lebih prihatin pada nasib jiran kita, qaryah kita dan masyarakat yang tersisih serta terbiar, termasuklah apa yang berlaku bencana malapetaka kezaliman di Gaza, Palestin.
He added that he had taken into account the people's concerns and suggestions, assuring that the government remains committed to enhancing their well-being.
Kita terus menjana pertumbuhan ekonomi, tetapi saya tegaskan bahawa kekuatannya akhirnya adalah kejayaan kita mengangkat taraf kehidupan rakyat terbanyak.
Anwar ended his address by extending warm Aidilfitri greetings to all. No festivity is ever complete without food, and Aidilfitri is no exception. However, a non-profit organisation is using their Aidilfitri biscuits to raise awareness and advocate for a bigger cause beyond profit. Nightline's Muhammad Nadir Azfar has the report.
Silent Teddy's Bakery empowers the deaf community, and that's by providing training and employment opportunities in baking. Starting out as a self-help vocational training program, the establishment initially grew into a full-fledged social initiative. The bakers at Silent Teddy's work collaboratively as a team. They follow their own set of guidelines, routines, and quality standards. All these to ensure consistency in their day-to-day tasks. The Silent Teddy's, however, is not free from challenges. It has to meet high demand, especially during festive periods.
The biggest challenges that Silent Teddy faces, like any other bakery too, is the increased demand and production. That is the main thing. And we have also sourcing of ingredients.
Part of the net proceeds of sale of cookies and catering from the bakery is set aside to support the programs of the community service for the deaf.
The Hari Raya cookies benefit the deaf community because you give them employment, you give them skill training, and every cookie we sold contribute to the economy, empowerment, and social inclusion of the deaf community.
A good number of deaf youths have been trained here and found employment. Non-profit organizations like Silent Teddy's is a vehicle for changing lives of deaf persons. They not only provide them skill training, but also meaningful work in the food and beverage industry.
As the festive season approaches, Silent Teddy's Bakeries isn't just baking cookies, they're creating opportunities for the deaf community. Every purchase is a small act of kindness that creates a big difference in their journey for independence and success. I'm Muhammed Asfar for Nightline TV3.
Malaysia will provide 10 million ringgit in humanitarian aid to help those affected by the earthquake in Myanmar. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said the contribution reflects Malaysia's responsibility and solidarity as the 2025 ASEAN chair, adding that he has instructed Foreign Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Hassan to lead a humanitarian mission to Myanmar next week. In a statement on Sunday, Anwar said cooperation and collective action among ASEAN nations are crucial in addressing humanitarian crises like this. He stressed that ASEAN's priority in safeguarding the well-being of people in the region must be translated into swift, effective and comprehensive action. Malaysia will continue discussions with ASEAN partners to coordinate aid for Myanmar and ensure meaningful impact for those affected. The Prime Minister noted that Malaysia remains committed to strengthening regional unity and advancing ASEAN's humanitarian agenda, which is rooted in compassion, shared responsibility and solidarity. Meanwhile, Malaysian rescuers sent to Myanmar on a humanitarian mission are expected to be deployed for up to 14 days, depending on the situation on the ground. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said the mission on Sunday involved 2 sorties using the Royal Malaysian Air Force RMAF Airbus A400M carrying 50 personnel.
Kita mengharapkan bantuan ini adalah bantuan yang akan mempercepatkan kumpulan SAR Search and Rescue di mana pasukan antarabangsa daripada beberapa negara juga telah menghantar dan kita turut bertindak dengan segera untuk membantu rakan kita daripada Myanmar.
On whether Malaysia would expand its aid efforts, Zahid, who is also the National Disaster Management Agency NADMA chairman, said the government was monitoring the situation and would coordinate further with NADMA, Wisma Putra and other relevant authorities. Besides Malaysia, several other countries also have pledged humanitarian aid to Myanmar. The International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies started an emergency appeal for $115 million to help victims of the quake. The United Kingdom has also promised to provide up to $12.9 million in life-saving aid, while China said it would provide $13.9 million in emergency humanitarian aid. Meanwhile, India, China and Thailand are among the countries that have sent relief materials and teams of aid workers. Earlier, a 5.1 magnitude aftershock struck about 27.4 kilometers north of Mandalay, Myanmar on Sunday. According to the United States Geological Survey (USGS), the quake came amid a series of aftershocks that affected central Myanmar since the major tremor on Friday. Meanwhile, the death toll from the quake has surpassed 1,644 as rescuers and emergency personnel resume their operations. More than 3,400 were injured, with at least 139 people still missing. The quake had severely damaged critical infrastructure, including major bridges and roads, making it difficult for humanitarian operations to continue. The Kuala Lumpur City Hall DBKL has put its 3 officers on temporary leave following a brawl with traders on Jalan Tuanku Abdul Rahman on Friday. Mayor Datuk Seri Maimunah Muhammad Sharif said the decision was made to allow investigations to be conducted independently, transparently and thoroughly without any interference. In a statement on Sunday, Maimunah said that the decision was made following a discussion with Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Federal Territories, Datuk Seri Zaliha Mustafa. She added that DBKL takes the incident seriously and will not compromise on any form of misconduct by its personnel if proven guilty, especially those that undermine integrity and public trust in the enforcement institution. She added that other decisions related to the case would be made once the investigations are finalized. DBKL is also considering covering the medical expenses of the affected balloon vendor Muhammad Zaimuddin Azlan. In the 11:50 p.m. incident, chaos erupted when a DBKL raid on unlicensed traders escalated into a brawl. Videos of the incident show DBKL enforcement personnel and traders pushing and shoving each other. And in the same development, police have confirmed receiving 3 reports related to the incident. Kuala Lumpur Deputy Police Chief Dato' Azri Akmar Ayub said the latest reports were filed by the balloon vendor's mother and another DBKL enforcement officer. He stated that the first report lodged by a DBKL enforcement officer on Saturday is being probed under the Penal Code for obstructing a civil servant in the course of their duties. The second report by another DBKL officer on the same day is regarding the circulation of their photo on social media accompanied by threatening remarks. The third report was lodged by Muhammad Zaimuddin Azlan's mother on Sunday and is being investigated under the Penal Code for voluntarily causing grievous hurt. Dangwangi District Police Chief ACP Zulizmi Afendi Sulaiman said that they have recorded the statements of 5 individuals and no arrests have been made so far. The police are also reviewing closed-circuit television CCTV footage from the scene. Muhammad Zaimuddin is currently being treated at the Serdang Hospital after sustaining injuries to his chest and waist. In the meantime, the Prime Minister has wished balloon vendor Muhammad Zaimuddin well and asked him to remain patient as police probe Friday's brawl which left him hospitalized. Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim's political secretary, Datuk Azman Abidin, said he conveyed this to Zaimuddin when he visited him on Sunday. In a post on his social media, Azman said he will help Zaimuddin obtain a hawker's license once he recovers. He added that Zaimuddin remains bedridden but can communicate clearly. Azman also urged both traders and authorities alike to operate within the framework of the law. In Negeri Sembilan, the police have arrested a man who allegedly attacked a woman driver till she suffered injuries after an accident along Jalan Persiaran Senawang 4 late Saturday. A 22-second video of the suspect attacking the woman driver went viral over social media after the incident. Seremban District Police Chief Muhammad Hatta Chiddin said the 35-year-old man was arrested at the Seremban District Police Headquarters on Sunday to facilitate investigations under the Penal Code. The man is said to have used force on the 28-year-old victim till she suffered bruises. The victim, who was driving from Maidin Senawang to Senawang, could not avoid the suspect's 34-year-old wife and 7-year-old daughter, who suddenly crossed the road at about 10:15 p.m. As a result of the accident, the wife and the daughter suffered minor injuries and were taken to Tuanku Jaafar Hospital for further treatment. On the eve of Aidilfitri, 3 people were killed and 4 others injured in a 5-vehicle crash at kilometre 50 of the Kuala Lumpur-Kara Expressway near Kampung Lentang. The victims, a man and 2 women, were travelling in the same car when the accident occurred at 4:50 p.m. Pahang Fire and Rescue Department Public Relations Officer Zulfadil Zakaria said the Bentong Fire Station was alerted at 4:55 p.m. and 10 firemen were deployed to the scene. The accident involved a 5-ton lorry and 4 cars, all heading towards Bentong. 3 people of the same car were killed, while 3 others, including 2 children, sustained injuries. The injured victims were sent to the Bentong Hospital. Probe into the crash is being conducted under the Road Transport Act 1987. Forest reached first semi since 1991. Actions from the FA Cup after this breather.
Ya sayang. Mak, mana on the way ni? Atas Skyway. Lain Solo je. Baru style lo. Raya, URC ni bro. Auto machine. Bunga api tak cukup letupan. Relax mak. Tahun ni bakal menantu join sekali. Satu kampung standby depan TV. Indahkan memori Syawal di TV3 Blockbuster dan stream juga melalui tonton.
Ada ketupat, ada rendang, nasi himpit dan kuah kacang. Kuih-muih sudah terhidang.
Saya harap saya dapat beraya dengan anak-anak saya lah.
Kita pandang pertama.
Tangan sampai intil tu.
Selamat tiba sayang.
Selamat hari raya. Jangan lupa duit raya. Dekat kemas rumah. Alamak, raya lagi.
Pakat konvoy, kita gegar arah ke Tamboi.
Sambil makan tu, layan rancangan terpaling best di Raya Kedua. Kalau terlebih rendang, membawa padah.
Aku tengok video BTV kau. Kau curi artikel aku, tak kredit nama aku pun.
Dan you tak ada kriteria tu.
Kau buat apa kat sini? Kau dah 2 kali tau nak curi story aku.
Ustaz buat apa ni Ustaz? Ustaz tak kesian ke kat dia orang?
Jaga elok-elok yang mulut tu. Pantang tunan aku makan duit haram.
Aku bagi buah siku juga budak ni kejap ni.
Biar dia orang kena denda kat sekolah esok.
Lari.
Membaca. Selawat.
Kata kalau Abuya hantar cucu haji ni dulu, lepas tu Abuya ambil Yaya balik.
Assalamualaikum Husin. Boleh tolong datang pondok? Mesti rumput.
Astaghfirullahaladzim.
Salam Syawal, indahkan memori di TV3.
Welcome back. We're back with sports football, the English FA Cup. Nottingham Forest progressed to the semi-finals at Wembley in April by beating hosts Brighton and Hove Albion 4-3 in a penalty shootout after the quarter-finals clash finished goalless following extra time on Saturday. In a drab tie that lacked quality throughout, there was nothing to separate the two teams after 120 minutes at the Amex Stadium. Brighton appeared to be the favourites to snatch a winner late on, but Forest goalkeeper Matt Sells made a superb save to keep out a bullet header from Diego Gomez in extra time. João Pedro then thought he had won it at the death for the hosts after bundling in Pervis Estupinan's delivery, but the goal was ruled out for offside and the match went to a shootout. After 2 big saves from Sells, it was Forest captain Ryan Yates who stepped up to fire the club into their first FA Cup semi-final since 1991. Third in the Premier League and on course to qualify for next season's Champions League, Forest could yet end the campaign with silverware. And still on football, the German Bundesliga, Leroy Sané scored a brace while Harry Kane added to his league's best tally as Bayern Munich restored its 6-point lead by beating St. Pauli 3-2 at home on Saturday. The visitors made a courageous start and went close to scoring, but Bayern took the lead in the 17th minute when Kane tapped in from close range, netting his 22nd goal of the season. St. Pauli drew level 10 minutes later from Elias Saad's clever flick. Bayern regained their lead in the 53rd minute, with Michael Olise delivering it a superb cross for Sané to drill in before the Germans scored again 18 minutes later, finishing off a quick move after a Kane cutback. St. Pauli's Lars Ritzka unleashed an unstoppable shot in stoppage time to cut the deficit, but Alexander Blessin's side were unable to mount an unlikely late comeback. The victory ended Bayern's 2-game winless streak in the Bundesliga, restoring their 6 points lead over second place Bayer Leverkusen. Turning to tennis now, the 2025 Miami Open. Top-ranked Aryna Sabalenka overwhelmed American Jessica Pegula in straight set to claim the title for her first time in her career on Saturday. The world #1 further cemented her status as the best player in the world as she closed out a dominant fortnight with an imperious performance, beating the American 7-5, 6-2. Sabalenka, who was runner-up in Indian Wells earlier this month and at January's Australian Open, refused to accept the consolation trophy this time as she closed it out with a superb backhand shot down the line and thrust her hands in the air. With another formidable victory, the Belarusian has now won 19 WTA titles, including 8 at WTA 1000 level, alongside her 3 Grand Slam titles. Muslims worldwide begin Eid al-Fitr celebrations. The details when Nightline returns.
Ui, panasnya ada teh tertumpah ke Raya ke-6 ni? Sabak Sat TV3 ada paparan hiburan yang hangat untuk hampa.
Kita tengok je. Berapa lama abang boleh tahan beli tu? Pula Badir tu nyanyi. Dia dah sejam tu kat dalam tu. Tak ada apa pula. Kau dapat pula benda free. DA lah kan.
Tiada gunanya kita menyalahkan pada orang yang telah tiada, Linda. Kerana setiap manusia itu bertanggungjawab pada dirinya sendiri.
Kau dah puas hati dah sekarang? Kau anak yang tak kenal jasa, kau tahu. Kalau kau betul benci sangat dekat aku, kau patut tengok muka mak kau.
For me is, my passion for music. Saya akan simpan duit untuk keluarkan lagu.
Dia punya spirit tu masih ada. Mungkin kalau tidak sebab titik hitam tu.
What if somebody had died?
I was just trying to be like you.
I wanted you to be better. I'm going to need the suit back.
But I'm nothing without this suit.
If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it.
Salam Syawal, indahkan memori di TV3.
Banyaknya nak kena add to cart ni. Tapi macam membazir pula. Ingat, baju raya tu biarlah sepasang dua je. Jangan berpasang-pasang. Bersederhana dalam bergaya. Saya Adira Saini. Indahkan memori di TV3.
Raya ke-7 ni makin santai kawan?
Santai-santai juga. Jangan lupa seleksi siaran menarik di TV3.
Orang nak pakai baju yang glamour-glamour, yang dilat-dilat, yang bergelik macam AJL, DESC semua.
Di setiap lebaran Syawal, tersimpan kisah yang membangkitkan rasa.
Kalau kau sentuh kakak aku, kau jaga kau kesiap kau.
Tok War seksa weh.
Whoa. That's awesome.
Salam Syawal, indahkan memori di TV3.
Welcome back. An earthquake measuring 5.2 on the Richter scale rocked the Indonesia's western Aceh province on Sunday. The country's Meteorology, Climatology and Geophysics Agency had initially reported the quake's magnitude as 5.4 before revising it to 5.2. The agency stated that the tremors occurred at about 9:58 local time, with the epicenter located 16 kilometers northeast of the provincial capital of Banda Aceh and at a depth of 12 kilometers below Earth. No tsunami alert was issued, as the tremors were not expected to trigger giant waves. In Thailand, more bodies were pulled from the rubble of a collapsed building in Bangkok on Sunday, bringing the death toll in the city to 18. Rescuers are continuing to race against time under sweltering humidity and intermittent rain to find survivors from the quake-damaged building. According to officials, of the 18 dead in the Thai capital, 11 were from the site of the collapsed under-construction building and 7 were from other parts of the city, where 76 people are still missing beneath the collapsed construction site as of 3 p.m. local time. In other news, Israel has conveyed its counter-offer to the Gaza deal mediators on Saturday evening following reports that Hamas agreed to the Egyptian proposal to release 5 live hostages. According to a Hamas official, the group agreed to a Gaza ceasefire proposal it received from mediators Egypt and Qatar. The proposal suggests Hamas release 5 of the Israeli hostages it is holding each week. However, Israel said it made a counter-proposal in full coordination with the third mediator, the US. However, they gave no details about the counter-proposal. Hundreds of thousands of Muslims celebrated Eid al-Fitr on Sunday, marking the end of the holy month of Ramadan with large congregational prayers held across various countries. Now let's take a look at how people around the world commemorated Eid al-Fitr. In Gaza, Palestinians gathered in Jabalia to perform Eid al-Fitr prayers amid the devastation caused by the Israeli onslaughts. Dozens of men and women were seen performing their prayers next to the heavily damaged Khulafa Mosque. Meanwhile, thousands of worshippers in Qatar rushed before sunrise to the Education City Stadium to attend the mass prayers. Aside from celebrating the joyous festival, many Qataris expressed wishes and prayers for stability and peace in the region, especially in Gaza. Over in Sudan, Muslims gathered for the Eid al-Fitr prayers in war-torn Omdurman, where bullet-riddled mosques bore witness to months of fighting, and in Port Sudan, a haven for many displaced by the conflict. The prayers were mixed with calls for peace and hopes of reuniting families scattered by war, as many expressed their longing for an end to the bloodshed and a return to their homes. And that concludes Nightline this time around. I'm Muhammed Hamdan, and on behalf of the Nightline team, wishing all our Muslim viewers Selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri, Maaf Zahir Batin. Take care.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar walillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar walillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar walillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar walillahil
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar. Allahu akbar walillahil hamd.
Allahu akbar, Allahu akbar, Allahu akbar. La ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar. Allahu akbar walillahil hamd.
Allahu akbar, Allahu akbar, Allahu akbar. Allahu akbar kabira walhamdulillahi kathira wa subhanallahi bukratan wa asila. لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون. لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. لا إله إلا الله والله أكبر. الله أكبر ولله الحمد.
La